of writing. So we have already learned about this topic earlier. So today we'll just go through it. Okay, it's like a revision class. So look at this. First, what we have? Delhi. So we have some key words here, isn't it? Delhi, old city, historical city. Okay. So let's now see. So what is this in the picture? Yes, it's the map of India, isn't it? So we are talking about Delhi. Yes. So Delhi is an old city. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to frame sentences from the keywords given above. Okay. So Delhi is an old city. It is a historical city too. Okay. Then second largest city, India. Okay. Now let us see. Uh, yes. So what can you all see here? Yes, it's Delhi, isn't it? So now let's say it is the second largest city in India. Densely populated. Now we have to make sentence with this. See? So there you can see in the image it is what? Fully crowded, isn't it? So Delhi is very densely populated. So it is densely populated. So educational centers, Delhi University, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Okay. So which are the educational universities that we have? Delhi University, JNU. So Delhi University and JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University are the important educational centers. Places worth visiting, Red Fort, Qutub Minar, Humayun's Tomb and Lotus Temple. So let's see now. So these are the places worth visiting. Some of the places worth visiting are the Red Fort, Qutub Minar, Humayun's Tomb and the Lotus Temple. So Delhi is an old city. It is a historical city too. It is the second largest city in India. It is densely populated. Okay, so these are some sentences. So Delhi University and Jawaharlal Nehru University are the important educational centers. Some of the places worth visiting are Red Fort, Qutub Minar, Humayun's Tomb and the Lotus Temple. So these are the sentences and all these sentences together have come to what? Have joined and come to form a paragraph, isn't it? Yes. So this is a paragraph. Okay. So now what is a paragraph? Let us look at the definition. So a paragraph is a collection of sentences related to the same topic. Okay. So a collection of sentences. So we were talking about Delhi University. So we have written what? A lot of things that is related to Delhi University. Okay. So a collection of sentences related to the same topic. So all these topics come, all these sentences related to a same topic come together to form a paragraph. Okay. Okay. Should have at least 5 lines. So a paragraph should have at least 5 lines. Okay. Okay. So here I have a question for you all. Okay. So now let us look at this topic, good health. Okay. So here we have good health. Then we have this. Okay. So what is this? Okay. We'll come to know later. Okay. Okay, so I think all of you can see what is there in the round images. Okay, so fresh vegetables and fruits. Okay, then we have a lot of water. Then we have morning walk for at least 30 minutes. Then we have physical exercises. Then we have meditation. Then we have sleep for around 7 hours a day. Then we have keep surroundings clean. Okay, so these are some points given here. So what we will have to do, we will have to frame sentences with the help of these points and then we'll have to what? Form a paragraph. So let us see. So first we have good health. So the first one is health is essential for everyone, as the proverb says health is wealth, isn't it? So all of us know that health is wealth and therefore good health is essential for everyone. Now first one, let's see, fresh vegetables and fruits. So how are we going to frame this? So we should eat more fresh vegetables and fruits. Okay, so in this way we can frame sentence. So we should eat more fresh vegetables and fruits. Then next one, a lot of water. So water is very important for our body, so we should drink a lot of water every day. Okay. Morning walk for at least 30 minutes. Okay, now let's see. So we should have the habit of going for a walk early in the morning for at least 30 minutes. Then physical exercises, meditation. Physical exercises such as yoga and other exercises keep us fit, and meditation helps us to keep our mind calm. Okay. Then next one, sleep for around 7 hours a day. So apart from all these, we should sleep for around 7 hours a day. Then keep surroundings clean. Untidiness affects our health. To avoid this, we should keep our surroundings clean. Okay, so in this way we have formed the paragraph. See, good health is essential for everyone, as the proverb says, health is wealth. We should eat more fresh vegetables and fruits. Water is very important for our body, so we should drink a lot of water every day. So we should have the habit of going for a walk early in the morning, at least for 30 minutes. Physical exercises such as yoga and other exercises keep us fit, and meditation helps us to keep our mind calm. Apart from all these, we should sleep for around 7 hours a day. Untidiness affects our health. To avoid this, we should keep our surroundings clean. Okay, now let us look at this picture. What can you all see? Yes. So who is in the picture? Very good. Narendra Modi ji, isn't it? So he is what? Cleaning, isn't it? So let's see. So there is a box here. So we have a column called campaign, and we have a column called Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Okay, let's see now. So motto of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is make our country clean and fully planted with trees, which reduces the pollution. Okay. Then we have date and place. So 2nd October 2014 at Rajghat, New Delhi. Okay, so when was the what? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan first undertaken? Okay, 2nd October 2014 at Rajghat, New Delhi. Then inauguration. Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. So who inaugurated? Honorable Prime Minister. Supporters. So who are the supporters? Millions of people from various parts. Aim, urban and rural. Okay, so what is the aim? To what? Make all the urban and rural, both urban and rural areas clean. Okay, so now let us make sentences with these points. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a campaign that has the motto of making our country clean and fully planted with trees to reduce the pollution. See, people are cleaning, isn't it? Now let us see. So date and place. It was launched on 2nd October 2014 at Rajghat, New Delhi by the Government of India. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself cleaned the road and inaugurated the campaign. Okay, now let us see. So millions of people supported this, isn't it? So millions of people across the country also took part in various cleaning activities. Aim, urban and rural. The mission aims at cleaning all rural and urban areas. Let's also promote it and take part in it by keeping our surroundings clean. Okay. So in this way we can join these points, and we can frame sentences, and we can turn these into paragraph. Okay. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a campaign that has the motto of making our country clean and fully planted with trees to reduce the pollution. It was launched on 2nd October 2014 at Rajghat, New Delhi by Government of India. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself cleaned the road and inaugurated the campaign. Millions of people across the country also took part in various cleaning activities. The mission aims at cleaning all rural and urban areas. Let's also promote it and take part in it by keeping our surroundings clean. Okay. Okay, now let us look at this. Okay, so what is happening here? The boy is taking a sleep, isn't it? So see, can you all see smoke coming from somewhere? Yes. Now let us see. See, now there is fire. So the boy woke up. It was midnight and Sonu was suddenly awakened by the cries of fire, fire. Okay, so the boy woke up from his sleep suddenly because he heard someone crying fire, fire. Okay, so there is a fire. Some house caught fire. He ran outside and saw his neighbor's house was on fire. Okay, now, yes, so he came outside and saw fire in his neighbor's house. His neighbors were crying and shouting as an old man was inside the house. Okay, so he brought out the old man. Somu took courage, went inside and brought him out. Okay, see, now they are taking care of the old man. So someone called the fire brigade. So then the fire brigade has arrived at the place. Somebody had called the fire brigade and finally the fireman succeeded in putting out the fire. His neighbors were crying and shouting as an old man was inside the house. Somebody had called the fire brigade and finally the fireman succeeded in putting out the fire. So it was midnight and Somu was suddenly awakened by the cries of fire, fire. Somu took courage, went inside and brought him out. He ran outside and saw his neighbor's house was on fire. Many people gathered but nobody dared to rescue him. Okay, so which is the first sentence here? Yes, it was midnight and Somu was suddenly awakened by the cries of fire, fire. Now let us look at the second one, which according to you will be the second one. Yes, he ran outside and saw his neighbor's house was on fire. The third one, yes. So this is second. Third one, his neighbors were crying and shouting as an old man was inside the house. Third. Then fourth one, yes, many people gathered, but nobody dared to rescue him. This is fourth. And the fifth one, Somu took courage, went inside and brought him out. So fifth and the sixth one, somebody had called the fire brigade and finally the fireman succeeded in putting out the fire. Okay, so I hope you all understood how we can frame sentences and then make paragraphs. So these are the lines. Okay, and rearrange the lines in correct sequence to write a paragraph. Okay, now let's see. So it was midnight, so this we have already formed a paragraph. So I hope all of you are clear with this. Okay, so this is what paragraph writing is. So in this way we can frame sentences first with the points given, and even if points are not given, so we can frame sentences from our own thinking, and then we can what? Yes, we can in this way form paragraphs from the sentences. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood. Now let us look at the summary of today's class. So a paragraph, what is a paragraph? Is a collection of sentences related to the same topic. It should have at least 5 sentences. Okay, so it's a collection of sentences related to the same topic. You cannot simply put a heading for example, you have put a heading the cow, and if you write about the dog, the tiger, so that won't be a correct paragraph. Okay, so everything has to be related to the cow only. Then, so this is an example of a paragraph here about the Delhi is an old city. Uh, it is historical city too. It is the second largest city in India. It is densely populated. Delhi University and Jawaharlal Nehru University are the important centers, educational centers. Some of the places worth visiting are the Red Fort, Qutub Minar, Humayun's Tomb and Lotus Temple. So I hope all of you understood whatever I have taught you all today about paragraph writing. So we'll meet again in the next class with a new and more interesting topic. Thank you and have a nice day. Good afternoon students, welcome to today's tele-education class. So students, I hope you remember in the last class we were doing articles, isn't it? So we are taking the topic determiners, and determiners have many divisions. So we have already done the division articles. Now today we are going to do a new one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so can you tell me the time please? So the man is asking the girl. Here we have da. Okay, so demonstrative. So what is demonstrative? Let's see now. It's a part of determiners, isn't it? So a demonstrative tells us about the location of something relative to our position, that is near or far. Okay. So when we want to show something which is near or far, so we use some demonstrative. So let us see. There are 4 demonstrative determiners in English, and they are this, that, these and those. Okay. So now let's see. This, that, these and those. Okay, so there are 4 images here. So the first one is this apple, because it is what? Is it near the finger or far? Near, right? So when we are pointing out near things nearby, so we use this. Then that apple, it's far. These apples, so we are talking about many apples, okay? So which are near, okay? Then when we talk about many apples which are standing far away, so we use those apples, okay? So this, that, these, those, okay? Now let us see. Okay, here are some boxes. So let's see. This box, that box, these box, those box. I hope all of you have understood the difference. This box because it is near and singular. That box it is far and singular. This box because plural, I mean many box. Those box because many boxes and standing far away. this, that, these, those. Okay, now see, this is near, this is a duck, that is a monkey, these are ducks, those are monkeys. This, that, these, those. Okay, now see, Milo says, this is my book, this. Okay, now let us see what we have. These buildings are really tall. So, they are talking about buildings that are standing nearby, isn't it? So, that's why these. Now, let's see. Will you buy me that chocolate cupcake? Okay, so the boy is pointing out to the chocolate cupcake which are standing little bit far away, isn't it? So, therefore, he is using that. Wow! Look at those beautiful twinkling stars. Because stars are what? Very far away. So no, so they are using those. Those. Okay, students, now I have a question for you all. All of you take out your clicker devices. Okay, so we have talked about demonstratives. Now we are going to talk about possessive determiners. Clear? Okay. So possessive determiners, what is possessive determiner? Possessive determiner modify the noun following it in order to show possession. So sometimes what we use some possessive words, isn't it? Like my pen, his book, her pencil, yes or no? So these are some possessive determiners. Okay, so it is used to what? Show possession and modify the noun. So they are my, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. Okay. So my, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. So these are some possessive words. Okay. So possessive determiners are sometimes called possessive adjectives, weak possessive pronouns, or simply possessives. Okay. So what are possessive determiners also called? Possessive adjectives, weak possessive pronouns, or simply possessives. Okay. So possessive determiners, what are possessive determiners? So let us see. So my dogs love to play in gardens. Okay, so possessive means what? Something like when you use some words which is trying to what? Show possession. Okay, like I already said my pen, his book, her pencil. Okay, so that means what? So you are talking about what? When you say my pen, you are talking about something that you possess, isn't it? So your pen, you're saying that it's my pen. It's my pen. That means what? It's mine, my property, my possession, isn't it? So when you are talking about someone like his book, you're talking about him. So a book that he possess, okay, a book that is his property. Excuse me. Okay. So my dogs love to play in gardens. Okay. So here my is the what? Possession, isn't it? Pintu is doing his homework. Yes. So Pintu is doing what? His homework. The boys are riding their bikes, isn't it? So the boys are riding their bikes. So whose bikes? Yes, their bikes. The tiger licked its paws. So whose paws? Yes, the tiger's paws. That means it is the what? Possession of a tiger. The paws are the tiger's possession, isn't it? Yes. So our vacation was fantastic. So whose vacation? Yes, our vacation. Where is your house? So here, which is the possessive determiner? Yes, your. Because it is talking about someone's possession, isn't it? Yes. Children are waiting for the arrival of their school bus. Okay. So whose school bus? Yes, children's. So there. Okay, students. So it's this much only for today's class. So we have learned about possessive determiners and demonstratives, isn't it? So now let us look at today's summary. So determiners. A determiner is used to modify a noun. It indicates reference to something specific or something of a particular type. So in simple, determiners are used with nouns to clarify nouns. So what is determiner? So we have already learned about determiner. So in the previous class, isn't it? So determiners are of various types like articles. So articles are what? So we have already learned that a and the. So these are some articles. So when do we use a? So when we are talking about a particular a single thing, so like a boy, a girl, yes or no, a dog, a cat, so we use the article a, isn't it? So also a is used before a consonant. Okay, so these are the uses of a. Then when do we use an? Yes, before vowels. Yes, so we use an before vowels like an apple, an orange, isn't it? So we use a, an in this type of cases. And then when do we use the? Yes, for a what? The when we are talking about a particular thing that we already know. Yes, like when we talk about a particular dog, suppose the black dog. Okay, the black dog with the what? The black dog that I saw yesterday. Okay, so this is the black dog that I saw yesterday. So for this type of sentences, when we are what talking about a particular thing that we know from what before, okay, we have already what seen that thing, or we already have knowledge about the thing beforehand, then we use the what? Yes, we use the article the. Then we have learned about demonstratives. So there are four types of demonstratives. Which are they? Yes, this, that, these, and those. Isn't it? So when do we use this? Yes. So when we are talking about singular things that what are nearby us. Yes, that are situated nearby us or located nearby us. So we use the demonstrative this. And when do we use that? Yes, when we are talking about a thing that is far away and that thing is a singular, yes or no? Like when we say this book, okay, this book, when the book, if the book is near us, okay, this book. Then when we say that house, okay, so if the house is standing a little far away, so we said that house, isn't it? Then when we are talking about, when, for example, when we say there's boys, okay, so we have to use the demonstrative these boys, isn't it? When the boys are standing nearby us, we'll have to use these. And when we say those boys, that means what? The boys are standing a bit far away from us. Then only we use those, isn't it? Uh, so these are what the uses of demonstrative. So we have already learned the uses of articles. We also have what? Learned the uses of articles with the help of the story of the three doves and the scorpion, isn't it? So the scorpion and the three dogs, and then three doves. Then we have learned about demonstrative, as I have already given you all some examples. And then the third one that we have learned about is what? Yes, possessive determiner. So what does possessive determiner mean? Yes, when we are talking about a thing that belongs to ourselves or someone else, okay? Like when if I say this is my pen, so which is the possessive determiner there? Yes, my is the possessive determiner, isn't it? So why? Because it is talking about whose pen? My pen, something that belongs to me, isn't it? Yes. Then if I say that is his book, okay? So which is the possessive determiner there? Yes. So his is the possessive determiner there because it is talking about what? His possession, that is the book, isn't it? Yes. So these are the three determiners that we have learned about: articles, then demonstratives, and then last one, possessive determiners, right? Yes. Okay. See here already examples are given. So determiners are words like the, and, my, some, this, that, many, several. So all this together, all the three determiners that we have learned about, that is articles, demonstratives and possessives, all this together come to become what? Determiners, isn't it? And these are some examples of determiners. So the, and, my, some, this, that, many, several. Okay. Types of determiners. So articles, demonstratives, possessives, quantifier, distributive, interrogatives. The rest we are going to learn later. Okay. So today we have learned about what? Three types of determiners. So articles, which are the articles? You already know a and the. Okay, and now here see the indefinite article. As I have already told you, when we are talking about a definite thing that we already know beforehand, from before, so we use the, isn't it? Like the black dog that I saw yesterday. So why the black dog? Because we are talking about a particular dog, isn't it? And a and an, these are known as indefinite articles. Okay, students. So I hope all of you have understood whatever I have taught you all today. So we'll meet again in the next class with a new and more interesting topic. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good afternoon, students. How are you all? Must be fine. I'm also fine. So, my dear friends, before we start, first of all, let me welcome you to the special tele-education session, right? So, do you people remember what we were discussing all these days? কি discuss করেছিল বাৰু? Well, we were discussing quite a lot of things, right? We discussed things related to vocabs, we discussed things related to writing, and we discussed a lot of stuff related to grammar. Alright then. So, continuing with the same thing, today also we will be discussing something which is related to grammar, right? বাকী কেইদিনাখনৰ দৰে আজিও আমি কিছুমান grammar related topic discuss কৰিম. Right then? So, are we all ready? Yeah, fine then. So, without wasting any more time, let's begin our today's session. Right then, here we go. So this is going to be our functional English class, as you all know. So what's in it for us? ইয়াত বাৰু আমাৰ কাৰণে কি আছে? চাওঁচোন first up. And the first thing we can see is two ladies walking towards another one. So we can see three ladies, two walking and one was standing there. So the standing lady greeted the others two and said, "Hi Smita and Neha, where are you two coming from?" Okay, so probably they were friends. So the two who were coming together were Smita and Neha. So the third lady said, "Hi Smita and Neha, where are you two coming from?" To which the ladies replied, "Hi Ramya." So Angoraki Swali Namun Ramaya. So hi Ramya, we are coming from a concert. Wow, they went for a concert. So Ramaya is impressed. She says, "Wow, which concert?" So the other lady says it was a concert by Papon. Wow, isn't that amazing? A concert by Papon. Ah, it was a great experience. Well, she was really happy, so she said it was a great experience. Do you know Papon is a popular singer? He is very popular. Ah, I missed a good show. So Ramaya repented. She should have traveled with them. I missed a good show. So the other lady consoled, saying, "Don't worry, next time we'll invite you. Let's attend it together." Okay, don't worry. You know what is gone, gone only. So don't worry. Next time around, whenever we go for that, we'll invite you and we'll attend it together. So now if we look at the conversation, right? So first Ramaya said, "Hi Smita and Neha, where are you two coming from?" To which Smita replied that, "Hi Ramaya, we are coming from a concert." So Ramaya asked, "Which concert?" To which Neha replied, "It was a concert by Papon." Smita said, "Then it was a great experience." He exclaimed that it was a great experience. So now we can have a look at the word. It says what? Coming. Then there was another word, was. Then if we look at the second part of the conversation, Neha says, "Do you know Papon is a popular singer?" Ramaya says, "Oh, I missed a good show." Then Smita consoled her, saying, "Don't worry, next time we'll invite you. Let's attend it together." But here again, we have a word which is know, then missed, and then invite. So we saw certain words. Then there is attend to. So what were the words? Coming, invite, was, know, missed, and attend. So what are these words? এই words কেইটা কি কাম কৰি আছে বাৰু? First words to hold coming, which is what? The present participle form of come. Then we had a word called invite. Then there was, know, missed, and attend. So what are these words? These are action words, isn't it? So these words are verbs. All right. So now if you look at this, did you invite your friend to the party? This is what an example of the use of the word invite. Then know, Arjun knows the answer. Another example. To attend, I have decided to attend the wedding. Another example of that word. Missed. Raju hurried to the station but missed his bus. So these are what? Verbs. And what are verbs? Verbs are the action words in a sentence that describe what the subject is doing. So basically, what is verb? Verb is the action words in a sentence that describes what the subject is doing. Every sentence has a subject, isn't it? So what the subject is doing? Subject to কি করি আছে? Who tells us about all that? It's the verb. The verb tells us about what the subject is doing, isn't that? So verbs are action words in a sentence that describe what the subject is doing. Subject to কি করি আছে সেইটো mention করে কোনে the verb does that, right? Now here is a question coming your way. Now, what should we do now? Well, simple. Let's answer it. All right then. So here's a question coming your way. I'm going to give you 40 seconds for it. And in this 40 seconds, you people will have to answer. তোমালোকে এইটো answer কৰিব লাগিব 40 seconds on. And your time starts now. All right then, it's time up. So the question was, identify the verb action word in the sentence given below. We attended the grand party yesterday. So which one is the action word? Which one is telling us about what is happening here? It's option E, attended, right? So the right answer is option A. Now moving ahead, what about verbs? Let's say some more examples of verbs. Well, you must be wondering, why are we discussing verbs? Because this is something that you have learned in lower classes only. Well, there is something more to it. Whatever we have learned about verbs, there is something more to it. And before we move into that more part, আমি কি করব লাগিব? We need to know the basics. So this is what a revision of the basics. After that, we will move to that extra or more part. Right? Fine then. So first up, let's have a look at these exercises. What can we see here? We can see a picture, right? Probably কি হয়, এটা classroom picture হয়. য'ত এগৰাকী madam আছে আৰু বহুত কেইজন students আছে. In fact, we have names of some students also. কেইজনমান students ৰ নামো আছে আমাৰ তাত. The names like Kushal, Sunil, Ramu, Sneha. So these were the students. So what are we going to see here? More examples for verbs. So Miss Susila is our English teacher. She will teach us finite and non-finite verbs today. So got it? What is happening? It's finite and non-finite verbs, right? So Miss Susila is our English teacher. Then she will teach us. So these were what? Examples of verb. Then she has taught us how to write a paragraph. She is holding a piece of chalk in her hand. Now if I look into this one, has taught, these are what? Another example of verb. Then is holding is what? Is in present continuous tense, isn't it? So we have the be verb and the present participle form of the main verb. So together we can call them as verbs only. So we had some examples. Then we move to Sneha. Sneha is the best student in our class. She studies well and participates in all other activities too. So what we can learn from her, this line? We learn that is a verb, studies is another example of a verb, then participates is another verb, right? Then she won the first prize in a debate competition that was held earlier this month. So she was a prize winner too, isn't that? So in this one, now what is here for us to find out? Well, we are looking for examples of verb, isn't that? So where is your verb? First one is won, then second one was held, isn't that? Right? Then moving on, We move to the boys. And the boys are what? Ramu and Kushal are two of my friends. They study well. So it seems Sunil is the speaker. So Ramu and Kushal are, this is what? An example of a verb. And then they also study well. Another example of a verb. They draw pictures very well. Kushal can create a great scenery just by looking at it. So draw is another verb. Create is another one. Looking is another one. Right? Then Ramu can draw pictures of many cartoon characters by just remembering them. Draw and then remembering. Alright then. So now some more examples. Now what is this guy is doing? Sunil is scribbling in his notebook. Sunil is scribbling in his notebook. Is scribbling is the example of verb. The teacher observes it. She asks him to write neatly. So what the teacher does? She observes him and asks him to write neatly. These are what? Examples of verb. Now if you look at it, is, are, study, meet, do, draw, create, looking, remembering, teachers taught, standing, holding, studies, participate, won, held, scribbling, observe, asked to write. These are what? These are the verbs we came across, isn't that? So now, what about this? I write a letter. Another example. Let's see. You know, he writes a letter. Another example. Right? So now, they write a letter. Another example. Fine, but what are we learning from this one? I write a letter, he writes a letter, they write a letter. So write, writes, and write. So what is happening? This is called a finite verb. Now why is it called a finite verb? What is a finite verb? A finite verb is a verb which gives us the tense and is restricted by the subject in number and person. It is also usually the first verb of a sentence. Excuse me. So finite verb is a verb which gives us the tense and is restricted by the subject in number and person. It also usually gives the first verb of a sentence. So finite verb for hetu verbs itu yang mak tensor বিষয়ে right? So what indicates the tense in a sentence? It's the verb. So the verb that indicates the tense in a sentence is basically what? Is a finite verb, right? And then after that, it is limited or restricted by subject in number and person. So when it comes to number or person, it is restricted by the subject. And that's why it's a finite verb. Right then, if you look at this, I am a teacher, you are a teacher, she is my teacher, they are my teachers. What is happening here? These were examples of finite verbs. Now let us study the verbs in these sentences. She speaks Chinese fluently. She speaks Chinese fluently. So speaks. What is happening here? She speaks. Now by looking at it, what can we learn? We can learn that, this is in simple present tense, right? Because speaks. Where do we add an s after the verb? In simple present tense. And then just because we have added that s, it means what? It's third person singular number. So subject is what? She, which is third person singular. So subject is something that is controlling the verb, and it is the first verb in a sentence, and it's also giving us some ideas about what? About the tenses. So she speaks Chinese fluently. This is what? An example of a finite verb. Mr. Pramod has a big bag. What is our verb here? Has. So where do you use has? We use has only in present perfect sentence, isn't that? Then Mr. Pramod is the subject. So Mr. Pramod is one or many? One, right? So if Mr. Pramod is one, what can we assume? We can assume that this is in third person singular number. So accordingly, instead of have, we have written has. So that is what is happening. The subject is controlling the form, right? It's indicative of the tense and it's the first verb in the sentence. So this is another example of a finite verb. Ramu and his friends swam in the pool. Ramu and his friends swam in the pool. This is again an example of finite verb because this is the first verb in a sentence. It's indicative of the past tense, isn't it? He postponed the program because of the bad weather. Again, it's indicating what? Tense, and this is the first sentence verb in a sentence. So another example of a finite verb. Savita danced gracefully. Next word is what? Danced, right? D-A-N-C-E-D. Dance gracefully. So what would be that? Another example of a finite verb. Rabi does his homework without anybody's help. Rabi does. So indicating what? Third person singular number, isn't that? From do it became does, so it's what? Present indefinite tense, third person singular number, and also the first verb. So these, it fits all the rules. So this is again what? A finite verb, right? Now here is a question coming your way. Let's try and answer it. So to answer this question, I'm going to give you 50 seconds and your time starts now. Okay then, it's time up. So the question was, pick out the finite verb in the given sentence. We saw a man standing on a chair. And the finite verb here is very good. You know, it's option B, saw, right? It's the first verb in the sentence and it is indicating what? Past tense. So, right then. Now, I am writing a letter. Look at this one. Now look at this entire set. He is writing a letter. I was writing a letter, he has been writing a letter, she is writing a letter, you are writing a letter, they are writing the letter, you know, he was writing the letter, you were writing the letter, they were writing the letter, he has been writing the letter, they have been writing the letter, he had been writing the letter, they had been writing the letter. Now what is happening here? In all these sentences, what is common? Are they in the same tense? No, right? First one is present continuous, then we have past continuous, we have present perfect continuous, we have past perfect continuous, right? So we have all types of verbs, but in every case, the main word writing, see, is, are, so even subjects are also, number is also not same, right? Was, were, has been, have been, even tenses were also different, isn't that? But in everything, writing has been same. So, what magic? In all sentences above, in all the sentences above, the verb writing does not change with the change in person or number or the subject. You know, the person has changed, the subject has changed, the number has changed, but the verb is the same. There have been no changes in the verb at all. So what do we call it? It does not indicate the tense either. It's not even indicating the tense. So the verbs, even though the subject and the tense change, the verb does not change its form. So even though subject and the tense is changing, the verb is not changing its form. So Such a verb is called a non-finite verb. আগতে কি লিখিছিলো? Finite verbs, which changes as per the subject, tense and all. And non-finite verb is something that doesn't change at all. ওচৰৰ যি বস্তু যিয়ে চেঞ্জ কৰি নিদিয়া কিয়, non-finite verbs always remains the same. Whereas finite verbs adjust himself or herself according to the situation, non-finite verbs remains the same, right? So we can define it like this. A non-finite verb is a verb which does not indicate the tense of the sentence, and it is not restricted by the person or number of the subject. It's not something that indicates the tense, or it's not restricted by the person or number of the subject. So that is called what? Non-finite verb. Some more examples would be what? My mother asked me whether I had done my homework. So my mother asked me. So that is what? Whether I had done my homework. Then the children were playing happily. So in this one, where is the finite verb and playing is the non-finite one. Then Rama was drawing pictures. Was is the finite verb and drawing is the non-finite one. Some guests have come. Have is finite and come is non-finite or infinite, right? So one more question before we finish it off for the day. Let's have a look at it. So you have to pick out the infinite or non-finite verb. And for this, again, I'm going to give you 50 seconds. And your time starts now. All right, then it's time up. And the question was, pick out the infinite or non-finite verb in the given sentence. He's swimming in the village pond. And the right answer is, yes, most of you have got it right. It's option B, swimming. Since, is the finite one that is indicating the tense and it's the first verb. So swimming is the non-finite or infinite verb. All right then. So with this we'll wind up for today. We'll not move into the next part today. We'll continue the next part in our next session. Hope you all have understood the definition. I will meet you again with the further explanation of all this. Till then, take care. Thank you.